Picture this. A building so tall that if you stood at the very top and dropped a coin, it would take almost 15 seconds to hit the ground. A structure that doesn't just scrape the sky, it punches straight through it. Right now, in a coastal city in Saudi Arabia, thousands of workers are racing against the clock to make that a reality. And they are not building just any skyscraper. They are building what is designed to become the tallest building on Earth. A tower that will push the current world record holder, the Burj Khalifa, into second place for the first time in nearly 2 decades. This is the Jeddah Tower, and the story behind it is more dramatic, more complicated, and more fascinating than most people realize. Welcome back to Strategic Dynamics Edge, where we break down the world's biggest moves in engineering, geopolitics, and human ambition. If you are new here, you landed in the right place. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell, because we release deep dives like this regularly, and you do not want to be late to the next one. Now, let's get into it. The Jeddah Tower is designed to reach 1 full kilometer above the ground. That translates to approximately 3,280 feet. To give that number some real meaning, take the Burj Khalifa, which currently stands at 2,122 feet, and has held the title of world's tallest building since 2010, and then imagine stacking a 50-story skyscraper directly on top of it. That extra height is roughly how much taller the Jeddah Tower is planned to be. The structure is designed to have 252 total levels, but only 167 of those will function as actual usable floors, spaces for residents, hotel guests, and office workers. The remaining floors exist purely to keep the building functional and alive. Elevator shafts, mechanical systems, structural reinforcement. The higher a building climbs, the more of its own interior it must sacrifice just to hold itself together. The vision behind this project came from Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, a prominent Saudi businessman and investor who is often referred to as the Warren Buffett of Arabia. He holds stakes in a wide range of global companies, from luxury hotel brands to major technology firms. As the chairman of Kingdom Holding Company, his goal was never just to build a tall building. He wanted to build a vertical city, a self-contained environment above the clouds, complete with luxury residences, world-class office space, a Four Seasons hotel, and what is being marketed as the highest publicly accessible observatory ever built. The tower itself carries an estimated price tag of around $1.23 billion, but the building is only one piece of a much larger vision called Jeddah Economic City, a full urban development project with a total projected cost of approximately $20 billion. This was never just architecture. This was a statement about where Saudi Arabia sees itself going. Construction officially began in 2013, and for the first few years, momentum was strong. Workers were completing roughly 1 floor every week. The structure was climbing steadily. Everything seemed to be on track. But then something happened that had absolutely nothing to do with construction or engineering, and it stopped everything. In November 2017, a significant political event took place in Saudi Arabia. A large number of prominent businessmen, government officials, and members of the royal family were detained at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Riyadh as part of what the Saudi government described as an anti-corruption campaign. The event drew international attention and was widely covered by global media outlets including Reuters, the BBC, and the Wall Street Journal. Among those detained was Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, the primary backer of the Jeddah Tower project. He was released approximately 3 months later. The full details of what occurred during that period have been reported differently across various sources. And this video does not aim to make any definitive claims about those events beyond what has been publicly documented. What is documented is the impact on the Jeddah Tower. Financing for the project was disrupted almost immediately. The primary construction contractor, Saudi Bin Laden Group, also faced significant financial and operational difficulties during this period. By 2018, construction on the tower had completely stopped. The structure, which had reached the 63rd floor, was left standing unfinished on the Red Sea coast, exposed to intense heat, high humidity, and salty coastal air for 7 full years. And that is where it gets genuinely troubling from an engineering standpoint. Concrete does not simply wait patiently when left unprotected in a harsh coastal environment. Salt air penetrates the surface. Heat causes repeated expansion and microcracking. Engineers were seriously concerned about whether the structural integrity of the existing floors had been compromised by years of exposure. This was not a routine delay. This was a major structural risk that had to be thoroughly assessed before anyone could think about adding more weight on top of it. From 2018 through most of 2024, the Jeddah Tower sat silent. It became something of a symbol, brought up regularly in discussions about megaproject ambitions that don't survive contact with real-world complications. There's actually a concept in the architecture and economics community called the Skyscraper Index, a historical observation suggesting that the announcement of a record-breaking tower often coincides with periods of economic instability. Whether you believe in that pattern or not, the timing of the Jeddah Tower's halt made a lot of people think of it. During those years of silence, Saudi Arabia shifted attention to other ambitious visions. One of the most discussed was a project called The Line, a proposed 105-mile-long linear city in the desert, designed with no roads, no traditional neighborhoods, and a completely new model for urban living. However, that project has since been significantly scaled back. As of recent reporting, active construction has narrowed to a much smaller stretch of land, with focus directed toward infrastructure connected to the 2034 FIFA World Cup. It looked, to many observers, like the era of Saudi megaprojects was entering a long overdue reality check. And then, the situation changed again. By late 2024, new agreements were reached. Kingdom Holding Company announced that Jeddah Economic Company had signed a fresh construction contract, valued at approximately $1.92 billion, with Saudi bin Laden Group to resume work on the tower. Around $293 million was credited against work that had been completed before the 2018 halt. Financing was confirmed, the site came back to life, and a project that most people had quietly written off was suddenly moving again. As of early 2026, the Jeddah Tower is actively under construction and progressing. As of March 2026, the structure has reportedly reached approximately 1,252 feet in height. The Burj Khalifa still stands at 2,722 feet, meaning the Jeddah Tower still needs to gain another 1,470 feet just to match the current record, and then additional height beyond that to surpass it. At a reported construction rate of around 90 feet per month, and assuming no further major disruptions, projections suggest the tower could potentially surpass the Burj Khalifa somewhere around late 2027 or early 2028. These are estimates based on current pace, not guarantees. Construction projects of this scale are subject to variables that are impossible to fully predict. But let's talk about what makes completing this tower so extraordinarily difficult. Because at 1 kilometer of height, the problems you face are genuinely different from anything that has been solved before. At this length, steel cables would be so heavy that they would snap under their own weight before ever lifting a single passenger. The engineering solution is carbon fiber cables, significantly lighter than steel, significantly stronger under tension, capable of operating reliably at heights that would be impossible with conventional materials. Before we go any further, here's something important. Everything covered in this video is drawn from publicly available reporting by established international news organizations and official project announcements. The events of 2017 referenced earlier in this video have been reported by outlets including Reuters, the BBC, Bloomberg, and others. This channel presents information for educational and analytical purposes. We do not take political positions, and we encourage viewers to read primary sources for full context. Links to relevant reporting will be in the description below. If this breakdown has been valuable to you, take 5 seconds right now and share this video with one person. That single action helps this channel reach more people than almost anything else. And drop a comment below. We genuinely want to know what you think. Do you believe the Jeddah Tower gets finished on schedule? Or do you think something will slow it down again? Let's hear it. Now, the very top of the building. The original plan for the 107th floor was a helipad. The imagery was compelling. Land a helicopter more than 2,000 feet above sea level, step onto the roof, and look out across the Red Sea and the city below. The problem is that wind speeds at that altitude make helicopter landings extraordinarily dangerous and operationally impractical. The helipad concept was removed from the plans. In its place, that floor is now designed as a sky terrace, an open observation platform sitting nearly 2,100 feet above ground. If completed as designed, it would give visitors one of the highest open-air viewpoints ever made accessible to the public anywhere on Earth. And just as the Jeddah Tower begins to look like it might actually reach its finish line, another proposal has appeared. Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund has reportedly invited bids for a concept tower in Riyadh designed to reach 2 kilometers, roughly 6,562 feet, which would be approximately double the planned height of the Jeddah Tower. The industry response to this has been largely measured skepticism. The near-universal reaction among engineers and construction professionals is the same. Finish Jeddah first. Right now, the Jeddah Tower is the actual test. It is the first attempt in human history to construct a building that reaches 1 full kilometer. If it is completed successfully, it proves that the engineering and logistics of kilometer-scale construction are achievable. If it encounters serious problems, it resets the entire conversation about what is actually possible. Whatever happens next, whatever rises in Riyadh or anywhere else in the coming decades, the Jeddah Tower's place in history is already secured. It will be the first structure ever to cross the 1 kilometer threshold. That belongs to this project permanently. Records are built to be broken. That has always been true in architecture, in engineering, and in human ambition. But being the first to do something that has never been done before carries a weight that no subsequent record can erase. The Jeddah Tower is a project that was announced with enormous confidence, nearly destroyed by circumstances completely outside of engineering, left for dead for 7 years, and then quietly brought back to life. As of 2026, it is climbing again. 90 feet a month, one floor at a time, moving toward a moment that will be written into the record books and into the history of what human beings are capable of building. That is the story of the Jeddah Tower. And it is not finished yet. If you watch this far, you are the exact kind of viewer this channel is built for. Subscribe to Strategic Dynamics Edge if you have not already. Hit the bell. Leave a comment below with your prediction, finished on time, delayed again, or something nobody sees coming, and share this video today. It takes 1 second, and it makes a real difference for independent channels like this one. We will see you in the next deep dive.